Hey everyone, welcome to the show. I'm Cam, and today I want to start with a story that perfectly sums up why I spent the last 20 plus years wanting to tear my hair out in this industry. Picture this: a massive double-road train and a locomotive collide at a level crossing on a mine site. Fatal injuries. The local police roll up, spend a few hours looking at the tyre tracks, see that the crossing lights were flashing, and immediately charge the truck driver with negligence occasioning death. Closed case, right? Driver's fault. He ran the light. Except, when you actually bother to look under the hood of the system, a completely different reality smack bangs you in the face. Turns out, the electrical induction loop that triggers those crossing lights was installed too close to the intersection, only 260 metres away instead of the standard 300 metres, because a public road got in the way 12 years prior. To make matters worse, the train was travelling at 42 kilometres an hour instead of the site limit of 25, because the driver was operating it remotely from the front footwell. Do the math on that. At 42 k's, passing that loop gave the truck driver exactly 11 seconds of warning. 11 seconds. But the minimum reaction and braking time required to stop a loaded double road train on that surface? 14 seconds. The poor bloke was dead 3 seconds before the lights even started flashing. Yet the initial corporate response was to point the finger at the operator. It makes me absolutely sick, but it happens every single day in industrial workplaces. And that brings us to the first stop on our little journey today, what I like to call the masterpieces of corporate fiction. You've all seen them. An incident happens, a team is assembled, and 3 weeks later, they produce this beautifully bound 80-page PDF. It's got glossaries, colourful charts, matrices, and professional formatting that would make a graphic designer weep with joy. But when you actually read the damn thing, it doesn't ask a single meaningful question. Why? Because asking real questions is uncomfortable. It's much easier to fall back on lazy classifications like human error, operator slip, or lack of situational awareness. It's the ultimate get-out-of-jail-free card for the organisation. If we blame the bloke at the sharp end, the paperwork keeps moving, the compliance checklist gets ticked, and we can all pretend the workplace is safe. Oh, the technician didn't follow the 10-step isolation procedure on a freezing Friday night at 2 a.m. while being screamed at by production to get the machine back online. Clearly, he just lacked safety motivation. Gimme a spell. True systemic learning is being sacrificed at the altar of low-friction administration. We are prioritising closed cases and clean safety metrics over the actual lives of the people doing the work. So, what happens when we write these shallow reports? We feed the beast with recycled, useless recommendations. If you tell me the root cause of an incident was human error, then your only logical solution is to try and fix the human. And how do we do that in the corporate world? Oh, we love this stuff. We put up a new poster in the site shed. We send out a site-wide safety alert. Or, my personal favourite, we hold a mandatory toolbox talk to remind everyone to stay vigilant and look out for each other. We treat slogans like "safety first" or "zero harm" as literal shields to hide behind. If we write "safety first" on the high-vis vests, then surely we're covered, right? But slogans don't stop a falling steel plate. Slogans don't design an engineering control that physically prevents a worker from sticking his hand into a live conveyor. It's just noise. And let's be honest about why this happens. If an investigator recommends a real operational change, like slowing down the production line, buying a $500,000 hydraulic hoist, or changing the contract terms of a third-party supplier, the executive team quietly rolls their eyes and rejects it. Too expensive, disrupts the schedule. But if you recommend another administrative procedure or a training refresher, oh, they'll sign off on that in a heartbeat. It's cheap, it looks good on a spreadsheet, and it changes absolutely nothing about the physical risk profile on site. So, how do we break this endless, soul-destroying cycle? It starts by moving from compliance to genuine curiosity. We have to throw out the finger-pointing and actually dig into how work is done on the ground. Not work as imagined in some cozy boardroom in Brisbane or Perth, but work as done, in the mud, the heat, and the rain. This is where structured frameworks like PIPO and the Swiss cheese model actually become useful, rather than just academic diagrams. When we map out an incident, we need to look at the people, the environment, the equipment, the procedures, and the organisation as a connected system. We have to identify the latent organisational weaknesses, the bad designs, the incompatible goals, the staffing shortages that set the worker up to fail. But doing this requires massive courage. If you're a safety leader, you have to be willing to look a senior executive in the eye and say, the reason this technician got hurt wasn't because he made a mistake. It's because your project planning and budget cuts left him with no other option. It's not a comfortable conversation to have, but if we don't start having them, we're just waiting for the next tragedy to occur. I'll leave you with one final thought today. A famous safety expert once said that having an accident is unfortunate, but learning absolutely nothing from it is unforgivable. So next time you're looking at an incident report on your desk, ask yourself, are you actually trying to learn something, or are you just trying to get the paperwork off your desk? That's it for this week's Cam's Corner. Do you want to dive into the next chapter of how we actually structure these investigations? Let me know, and we'll get stuck into it next time. Stay safe out there, and keep asking why. Cheers.